There we go. All right. So I kind of want to take today and wind down from our midterm, late term, I guess, project. And I was going to do this before the project was due, and then you guys had a lot of questions, and so we kind of end up having kind of a work session. But what I'd like to do is I want to go through the project on my screen, so you guys can watch me work through the project, right, and kind of see how I go about doing things. I'm going to move fairly fast so that we can get through it, but I think it would be good for you to, you know, just watch somebody work through it, right? So maybe before we do that, does anybody have a specific area that was somewhat problematic or question? Chris is ready with the hand. Yep.
I think just connecting the stairs if you wanted to direct down to the basement.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure on like how, like, is there no space in between the stair and the, like how we like just the relationship between the floor and the stair.
Okay.
Was kind of, I wasn't really sure. I left like a little bit. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yep. Okay. That's an interesting question. That's you know, because if you look at like a residential stair, right, there's so many different kinds, right? And you have some stairs that probably most stairs touch both sides of the wall, right? But then there are some stairs that don't touch either side of the wall, right? And then there's commercial stairs like in this building where you walk down them and they very clearly meet at the landing, but they don't meet when you're walking up and down the hall, up and down the main stairwell, right? There's kind of a gap in between. So we'll talk about that, okay? Stairs to the basement, stairs, how do you connect them with other parts of the building? Anything else? Okay, I have one thing, so don't let me forget about wall joins. We'll talk about wall joins today. Let me just say this, Revit's its own little beast. I think you guys are kind of finding that out, right? And this is your first exposure. I wouldn't expect that everything goes perfect for you, right? You're just learning it. I would expect that you generally can navigate the tools, right? You know how to open it. You know how to change views. You know how to use the project browser. You know how to create walls, right? You know how to define elements, right? You know how to create new types of walls and define the top and base constraint. You know how to place components. You know how to generate stairs, right? May not be perfect every time, but you can find the tools, right, to create these things. And inherently, maybe it takes a little while to figure it totally out, which is happens, right? But you know how to generally do it. There was paper in the plotter, by the way.
There was not.
Ask Allie.
There was, like, right after you left, like, literally within 2 minutes, Shelly came, and I'm like, we're out of the paper, and she's like, no, and we go, and then there's paper.
I just somewhere. We looked in there, there's a giant brand new, there's a roll in there, in the bottom drawer.
When you looked before.
I didn't look at it before I saw you. And you're like, we're out of paper. I'm like, oh no, we're out of paper.
I swear.
And then I like got the IT guy, and he's like, oh yeah, we're out of paper. And I'm like, oh, we're out of paper.
I took the roll out and everything.
I was kind of laughing. I went down there. I was like, "Oh no, there's no paper." We go back, and there's two drawers. Right, the top drawer and the bottom drawer. The bottom drawer had a roll of paper in it.
I didn't look in the bottom drawer. I'll tell you that.
There you
I
go.
looked at the top, but I took out the top, and there's no paper in it. I took that one out.
I saw that on the table. Yeah. Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right.
That's okay. It's okay.
So am I late now?
Well, yeah. It's late.
Alright, but I'm gonna resubmit everything then.
Okay. I was just telling them we're gonna work through the project today. Okay, so first thing, I'm gonna just start from the beginning. I may not get through everything, but I'll try and hit on stairs, and I'll try and hit on wall joins, and Chris, I'm sorry, what did you say? I've already forgotten what you'd said.
Just wrapping the stairs.
That was the stairs, that's right. Okay, I was thinking we had 3, but we just did 2. Okay. Okay, let's start from the beginning. I'm gonna start with the architectural template, so I'm not really even gonna start with the define template here, okay? And this is just out of the box everything, right? So, oh, thank you for saying that. Everybody's scared to say it. Okay, so here we are. I'll just start over, right? So just out of the box Revit. Click on architectural template. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, if I had used AutoCAD to redesign my plan, right, then, or even just to start with the basic version that we started with, I'm going to link in or insert in a CAD file. I want to do this at level 1, so I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to, I think I'm just going to import CAD, and I'm going to browse to my desktop where I have my AutoCAD project, and not AutoCAD project, Revit project, floor plan 01, and I want this only in my current view. It looks good. Hit open. Okay, there's my little AutoCAD project. If it had not come in perfectly, I would have zoomed out and I would have looked around here for it, right? And I could have moved it over here into place. Looks pretty good. Okay, I am going to go to my second level because I know I have a second level, right? And I'm going to insert, import CAD, level 2, open. Oh, that came in a different spot, so we have to line these up. All right, level 2, I'm going to go to my underlay, and oh, it may not let me because well, let me look. So here's a problem, right? It's not, it's pinned, number 1, so I'm going to unpin it. And I know that my floor plan is down there on level 1, but I'm not able to view it through my underlay for whatever reason. I would assume maybe because it's AutoCAD geometry and it's not allowing it to be shown because I specified only view in that one view. So I have to somehow figure out another way to line this floor plan up with the bottom one, okay? One way to do it would be to go to level 1 and start generating walls, or I could draw some reference plane, RP. I'm going to draw a reference plane here on the outside. And one thing that you may or may not have noticed, I don't know if we talked about this, I thought we did, but if I go to level 2, those reference planes from level 1 show up. So level 1, there they are, right? And that is defining kind of that outside corner right there. WT, window tile, level 1, and here's level 2. So I'm going to grab this level 2, I'm going to move, grab my top corner here, click, move this over to that corner, click. And so now ultimately my AutoCAD files from level 1 to level 2 are in the same spot in Revit. RP reference plane. If I wanted to find it through the file menu, I'd go to architecture and go all the way to the end here to reference plane. I have my AutoCAD file. Now it's time for me to start drawing. Okay, so I'm going to draw my walls first, right? Then I'm going to switch back and forth between 3D views to make sure that things look okay. Before I draw my walls, and having done this before, I'm going to think ahead and think, well, I know that I'm going to create my walls, but in order to make that happen, I have to think about how tall these walls are, right? So even before I start drawing, I have to go to my elevations. Let's go to the north elevation here. And I have to sort of define all of the different levels that I'm going to need, okay? So I'm going to go to architecture, I'm going to go to level. I know I'm going to need a structure, bottom of structure. I know I'm going to need a basement level. I know I'm going to need, and this is just, once you do a few projects, you'll know the levels you need, because you're thinking, well, how would I know that? Well, you'll get to know that, right? I know I'm going to need a top of wall up here for the second level. And you're like, well, how do you know how tall they are? Well, I don't exactly yet. Or if I do, they're not correct, but I'm going to go back and fix them, okay? And now I'm going to create one more level, which will be the roof. Okay. All of my dimensions may not be completely correct, but we're just working through the process. So level 1 to here, this will be bottom of structure. And I will make that negative 14 inches. And then, I can't do math between this level and this level, right? So I'm just going to pull a dimension between these two levels and say, I want my ceiling height in my basement to be 9 feet. and it calculates it for me, right? And I can't do math between these two levels either, right? And so I'm just going to pull another dimension, escape, escape, grab my level, and maybe I want this to be, you know, oh, whoops, 1 foot. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to define these. This one's going to be basement. This one is going to be top, or let's do bottom of footing, pouring. Okay, now I have level 2, it's 10 feet above level 1, we'll leave that alone. And then I have a top of wall. We'll make the top level a little bit bigger or a little bit taller than the basement. Let's make this 12 feet above level 2. Right, so you see me add dimensions, I separate those two, and then I'm going to draw one more level, which will be the roof. And I don't know, oh, I have that level up there. I don't know how tall this is going to be really, right? So I'm just going to call it roof. Oop, and I want it to be caps. When I name my levels, any level that is a floor plan or a roof level or reflected ceiling plan or something to that effect, right, where there's living space or something architecturally significant, I capitalize. If it's more of a datum where it's measuring structure or placing something, I make it lowercase, right, so I can differentiate them on the screen. Sorry, guys. Miserable. Ugh. Okay, so I have all my levels established, right? So now really I'm kind of ready to draw walls. So I go back to my level 1, which is kind of where I want to start. I have my AutoCAD file here, right? And I start drawing. Now I'm not going to redefine a bunch of walls. I'm just going to draw with the walls that are currently in Revit. But I would come over here, oops, wall or WA, and I'm going to choose a wall, brick on metal stud. Great, click. I'm going to choose my location line where I draw from. I want to draw from the finished face of the interior of my wall because I want to maintain the dimensionality of the inside of my house. So I go to finish face interior. I'm just going to use my draw tool for this. Click. Oh, and I forgot something. I forgot to define it. I looked over here and it said, hey, you know, it's 20 feet tall. All right, let me redefine that. I want this to go from level 1 all the way up to, did I define one as top of wall? Let's look. I thought level 1, level 2, that one right there. Top of wall. I forgot to rename that one. Okay. So I'm going to go back here, right? Now wall, click, and I want this to go from level 1 up to top of structure, top of wall, right there, click, great. And I'm just going to trace from the inside, right? You see that? Now, I don't see a lot of definition in the lines, right? I just see a big blob. That tells me that I need to change my coarseness from coarse to maybe fine, and that will tell me, you know, which side of the wall the brick is on. Right, I've had about 4 different starts on this project, haven't I? So I start, click, 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 click. There we go, and there is our house, right? Now another thing that kind of popped into my head is, oh great, this looks great. But then in the back of my head I'm thinking, I'm going to have to add an addition. And these walls look awfully bright and new looking, okay? So I'm starting to think about phasing, right? Oh, there we go. This is under, when I have this phase set as new construction, that is what I'm currently drawing in, okay? So I accidentally drew all of these walls on new construction. If I wanted to change them all to existing, which I'm going to, I'm going to pop into 3D, choose all of my walls. Now one thing, if there was a CAD file in this view and I grabbed the CAD file, because the CAD file cannot be phased, it can't be new or existing, it wouldn't allow me to change the phasing on this, right? So I grabbed only elements that could be changed to a different phase.
So Could your walls be pinned to that CAD file?
They won't be pinned to the CAD file, but you can pin them in the spot they're in, which correlates to the CAD file. So you can't pin one object like the walls to the CAD file, no. But once you get them correct, you can pin their location.
Because like whenever I tried to move a wall, it would move the other wall on the other side.
Yeah, maybe somehow you've locked them.
So I'm having the hardest time with that.
Okay. Well, let's see if that happens in here, and we'll try and figure it out. So phase created, we want this to be existing. So I'm just kind of using the phasing to like change this, but it's almost like a layer type application if you're using AutoCAD. Okay, so now I go back here and I think, okay, I have my existing walls, but I'm still in new construction. So if I change this to existing, now anything that I generate will be existing. And these walls have brightened up because we're in an existing phase. And in an existing phase, they look whole, right? But in a new construction phase, they look dim and they don't look defined because they're existing. And the new construction stuff will look new and bright, okay? So I go back to existing. And all right, now it's time for me to draw my interior walls, right? So I'm going to go to wall, click on, we'll just do a generic 5-inch wall for now. And I want to define this wall from level 1 up to bottom of structure. Top of wall is lower than the base. Let's see, level 1 up to, let's look at my levels again. Did I name something I shouldn't have? Level 1 up to, oh, level 2. What am I thinking? Okay, wall. Level 1 up to level 2. Good. So these walls are essentially going to go from the top of my floor joists on the main level up to level 2. We'll just leave that for now. Okay, so this right now, my walls are set to draw from the center line. That's fine with me for now. So I draw my walls from center line to there, right? I could have chose finished face interior or exterior. Maybe I'll do that now. I'll change. So finished face interior. There we go. Okay, looks good. I'm going to change back to midpoint here. Center line. Because I want to split any difference between the difference in this drafted wall and the wall I'm drawing between the two sides of the stair, right? So that's why I switched back to midline. Now I'm going to go switch back to finish face interior. There we go. And I just continue to draw, right? You notice I maybe don't go all the way out to the edge of the wall, right? Because I know that this is going to come in and I'm going to click all the way to the end and they'll join nicely, right? And I can start here. I space bar, just flip my wall. Go to there, right? I've got a little linen closet or whatever this is right here. There we go. There we go. I've drawn all my walls whole because I'm going to place doors in them. The doors will host into the wall and cut an opening, right? So now if I wanted to place a door, I would make sure it's on, well, I'm on level 1, so it should place on level 1. If I wanted it to be on a different level, I would define a different level. But you know, again, I just come in here and I start placing my doors. And I've got one over here, space bar, right? And I don't know where my, there's a slide, isn't there a slider here? And I'm thinking, well, I can't see that slider. Where is it? It's on the CAD file. Oh, great, I can't see the CAD file. But if I go to a wireframe view, I can see it again, right? And I could download, I could go to Insert, Load Family, go to Doors, Residential, and double sliding door, pocket door, full glass double door. We'll just use that one for now. Open, click, hold Shift, click, open, or okay. All right, so now if I go back to Architecture, Door, I have my door. Click. Now I'm still in wireframe view and I know that because I can see my windows here, so maybe it's time for me to put my windows. If I go to hidden line, HL, they go away. Wireframe, WF. So now I'm going to go up to window and I choose 36 by 48. click, 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 click. All right, I can look in 3D at my model. Everything's looking somewhat like I want it to. Okay, everything's in the existing phase because I have my views set to existing. Okay. All right, now I'm going to change something a little bit. I'm going to go to my elevations, and I forgot to add a bottom of structure for my level 2, so I need to add that. Click on level. And we're going to call that call this bottom of structure 1. Oop, oop. Okay. So now when I look at this, I think we'll make this at 9 foot. There we go. I go back to level 1. I can select all these interior walls. I'm holding the control button, and oops, I want to grab all the walls, right? And instead of them being constrained from level 1 to level 2, I want it to go from level 1 up to bottom of structure, number 1. So I've just redefined all those selections. Great. If I want to look at that, I'm going to open up a section. I just draw a quick section, I guess, really. Click, click. And I can see all of those walls go to that level. Okay, working my way up. I'm going to draw I want to draw a ceiling to this level, which is a floor to the next level. So I'm going to go to level 2. What is level 8? We have a level 8 that I don't know what that is. We have an errant level. That must have been this one right here. I wonder if I accidentally hit don't rename the corresponding view. Huh. Anyway, okay. All right, so I'm going to go to level...
Way to find out, like, in AutoCAD you push F2 to find out your recent commands that you've done? Nothing like that?
No list. Nope. I know.
I wish I would be able to see what I've done in the last
Oh, no, sorry. You know what? That's not true. You can see a list of what you've done, but it's inherent in the undo. So don't click the arrow. If you click the down, do you see that? So you can, but if I clicked, I would undo all of those. Ooh, escape. But there's not a list where I can just view it like for information. It's within the command. Okay, so level 2. Now it's time for me to define a few things. Okay, so my level 2, right, this wall really should only go to, you know, the bedroom is out here. So we have kind of a little cantilever going on, right? So this wall is not quite appropriate going from level 1 to level 2. So I'm going to grab this wall and I'm going to take it down to level 2. And I'm going to look at that in 3D and see what that did. Okay, so from here all the way to there, you know, this wall goes up to there, and then some flooring comes out on the second level, and then the exterior wall jogs around. Okay, so I'm going to add my floor, and then I'll fix this exterior wall right here. All right, time to do a floor. So I go to floor, and I choose a generic floor, right? And I think I allowed 14 inches for my floor, so I'm just going to edit type, duplicate, edit. All right. And now I'm going to draw a line around where I want my floor to happen. Now, you know, there's going to be a specific place within the wall where you want your floor to rest, right? It's going to sit on the structure below, and there's going to be some things that have to do with that. For the sake of this being pretty simple, I think what I'll just do is I'll just draw the floor on the inside of the walls here, okay? And they're just going to come all the way around here. Actually, well, let's see, what is going to be the best way? Let's do this. Hold on, cancel, yes. Okay. I think actually what I will do is I will bring my, there we go, we'll take it out to that edge of sheathing right there. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my floor. And again, I undid this, but generic floor 12, I need to recreate it because I hit undo. We'll make this 14 and rename and hit OK. And I'm going to draw my floor. So I just follow this line all the way around. There we go. I could have used the pick tool. I could have used any tool that I'm, really comfortable with. And you notice over there in 3D, as I move out, as I move around this, it continues. I can right click, snap override, and choose endpoint if I wanted to grab an endpoint there. Right? Continue on. And I know I'm gonna have to go out here where, this somewhat cantilevers out. I don't know exactly where these meet, but that's all right because I can come back up here and from the other side, grab that line and trim, TR. It's not connected. I was just going to say that. So one thing that looks like you picked up on, right? It's not connected over here. It looks like it's connected, right? But if I go to thin lines, TL, oh, maybe it's snuck up and I'm going to trim it anyway. It might have. But there's my floor, right? So it's at level 2. I hit finish and there is my floor, right? I see it. Looks great. And now I can grab this wall right here, or not grab it, but I can join this wall and this wall, and I'm going to do that using another exterior wall. Remember the create similar? Instead of going and trying to find the exact wall over here in my menu, which I think it was this one, but maybe it's that one. This one looks similar, right? I just grab the wall that's there and I hit create similar. And I'm going to define it to go from level 2 up to, was it this one? Top of wall? Bottom of, I think it was top of wall, I think. Anyway, if it's not, we'll fix it. I start drawing it that direction. Oh, it's not right. Do you see how it's misaligning, right? And you look over here and it doesn't look right. Well, the orientation of my wall is incorrect, so I'm going to flip it. Align, AL. Okay. Oh, I had to flip it. Now I'm going to have to align it. AL. Click, click. Now I trim it, TR, click, click, and we have our little space. Now, that kind of extends, we're seeing the floor there, and I don't want to see the floor, so what I need to do is somehow take the base of this and bring it down 14 inches, right? So it covers that floor. So I'm going to grab those two walls, and I'm going to give this a base offset of negative 14 inches. Okay, I'm going to save this. Okay, so I go to my section. Let's see, section. There we go. I have my lower level, I have my upper level, I have my floor here, right? Let's create a roof and then I'll do the stairs for sake of time, just in case we don't quite get to like adding all the walls upstairs, right? I want to make sure we get through the stairs. But I'm going to add a roof first. So I'm going to go up to my roof level. But the way, this is a little deceiving because it is called the roof level. But if I look at my elevation here, right, the roof is at the very top in levels. Top of wall is actually where the roof kind of starts, and roof is going to be a view or a field of depth here where the roof will live, right? So you're going to see the roof from the roof level, but the roof is not actually generated on the roof level, okay? So I'm going to go to top of wall. You could do this at roof and make it work too, though. and I'm going to generate my roof. Now, I can't see a footprint of my building to be able to draw the roof, and so I need to turn on an underlay. So range, I want to see my level 2. There we go. Okay, so I go to roof. We'll do roof by footprint, a 12-inch generic roof. I'm going to create a roof that has a 3-foot offset, an overhang. Click. If you offset it to the inside, it won't work, right, Corey? You'll have a tiny little roof that sits on the inside. Trim, TR, right? I don't get everything perfect the first time I do it. Tab, click, and I can change the slope of all these from 912 to 512. Enter. I hit finish. There's my little roof, but my little roof is cut off, right? And it's cut off because, let's close a couple of these. But it's there. Look, I look in 3D, it's there. It's cut off because of my view range. Okay, if I go to my elevations, right? I'm on top of wall, and top of wall you only view up to a certain 3-4 foot range. And what I really want to do is view this from my roof. So I'm getting a cut, and there we go. And it's showing only part of the roof. Now if I go to my roof floor plan, it's a little deceiving because I don't even see my roof, right? I get how it's so confusing for everyone, right? This is Revit. And this is a view range thing also, right? So essentially the way we're looking at this model right now is that if you go to the roof plan starts here and moves up, right? There's no viewing downward right now. And so in order for me to be able to view my roof in my roof plan, I have to alter the view range. So I not only want to see the roof, I want to see the level above the roof. And I don't want to see just the bottom of the roof, I want to see the level below it, top of wall. Hit apply, okay, and there's my roof. So I've got my little roof, right? I've got my little building, looks good, everything is wonderful. I'm going to grab all my walls, tab, click. I'm going to click on attach top to base, click. And grab my roof, click. See all those walls extended up to the roof, right? Now, one thing I again want to remind you is that Revit, although infuriating at times, the best thing about Revit is that it's very dynamic. It's really great at about changing things. So if I, for example, wanted to take my top of wall and bring it down to 20 foot, comes right down, right? So, it's really easy to get lost in how difficult things can be to generate, but when you generate them, once you change them, and the coordination and the tagging and everything is very quick. Okay, so I have my little house here. Let's add some stairs. Okay, and actually let me add the basement first. So I'm going to go to my I'm going to add some foundation walls essentially. Okay, so I'm going to go to level 1. And I like to do this in 3D. At this point, I don't really need my first level CAD file anymore. It's kind of useless to me, right? So you could hide it just in case you are afraid you may need to reference again. You could also unpin it and delete it. So I can hit unpin and I can hit delete. Now it's time for me to create my foundation walls. So I'm going to come up here to wall and choose foundation 12-inch foundation concrete wall. Great. I want the foundation to line up with the finished face of the exterior. It doesn't matter to me how far it extends into the space. I want it to be constrained from the basement level up to level 1. That's 0. And then I'm going to go around with my pick, or I could have drawn it. I could have used my draw tool, but pick is pretty easy in this case. Do I have an offset somewhere? And I click. Okay, and I click, and I click, click, click. It's not getting it perfectly the way I want it, but we're getting close enough. Click, click. I think we have one more. Click. Okay. It didn't quite get it the way I wanted it to, right? But that's all right. I can align, and I can align in 3D if I want. I can AL, click the face of the wall, click the face of the foundation wall, click, and they align, escape. AL, click. Ooh, I'm trying to find the face. There it is, click. AL, click, 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 click. AL, click, click. AL, click, click. All right, so I'm just going around and I'm aligning this. And there we go. Okay. So now I'm going to go to my basement level, and I'm going to add a floor. So I have my foundation walls. I'm going to add a floor. So I go to floor, floor, and I'm just going to outline my floor. I want it to be a concrete slab, right? Doesn't look like there is one, but this one's close enough for me, so I'm just going to use that one. And I start drawing. Click, click, looks good. Okay, there's my floor. It's at the basement level. I hit finish. There's my floor. If I wanted to, I could change the scale of this, right, from an 1/8 to a 1/4. Still good, right? Whatever we want to do. Now again, I go into 3D. I go into 3D a lot, and I look in there, and there's my floor. I mean, I guess while we're at it, we might as well just create some footings, right? So my levels, I just verify my levels, bottom of footing and basement. Okay. So I'm going to go to my basement level, and I don't think I have a footing wall type. So I'm going to hit edit type, duplicate. We'll make these large footings so we can really see them. We'll make them 30 inches wide. Okay, edit, 30 inches. Okay. Okay. Now it's time for me to draw my footings. So finish face exterior. No, I want these to be center line. I want them to go from bottom of footing up to basement. So that looks good. I'm going to use my pick on this. And I did a window tile and I pick, click. And it says, hey, I get an error. You cannot see these in the view you're in. That's right, I can't, but I can see them in, oop, I did that one off. I can see them in my 3D view, right? Okay. One of those was slightly off. Which one was it? Right there. AL, align. I'm going to not grab the face. I'm going to tab, grab the center, click. Tab, grab the center. There we go. Is that great? Okay. You get used to all these little tricks, right? So let me just tell you, when you're working full time, it happens real quick, right?
It'll take me forever.
No.
When I did the footings, I just wanted to structure.
Yeah, you can do that too. It's not as there's a few reasons why I don't do that, and it's because it's considered a structural element. It's defined as a structural element. So technically, a structural engineer should be using that tool, right? It's almost like layer designation. Your layers are probably AE or whatever, right? And structural engineers are SE, right? You could use SE wall as your layers, but then it could be confused with, like, hey, who drew these? Well, it says SE wall. Well, that's a structural engineering layer. Yeah, but I drew it on that. Well, why did you draw it on that? Well, because I wanted to. Well, it's not right, you know? It's kind of that same conversation. And the structural engineer would take responsibility for those items, right? And then the second reason I don't use that is because it's just not as easy to alter them, right? But it's fine. I mean, if you want to go that way.
So would you define layers?
No, no. I was just comparing it to AutoCAD. Yeah. Okay. So we have our little building, right? And I don't see my footings, which is kind of odd. That's weird. That's really odd because they're there, right? I'll have to come back to that one. I'll come back to that one. Maybe I'll make a new. When all else fails, right? Draw a new section. They're so easy. No, still not there. Oh, I know why my slab's not there. Okay.
It would be in new construction.
I think it's, yeah. Oh, because I was like, I thought I changed my phasing. That was on level 2, right? See how easy that happens? I changed my phasing when I went down there first to create the walls. Then I flipped up to level 2 and did some work and changed the phasing there. And then I went back, right? And I didn't change it. So we're going to go to bottom of structure, right? And I'm going to grab my, or I can't even see it there. I'm going to go to 3D. I'm going to tab, grab them all, and we're going to change those to existing. There we go. There we are. Okay. And my slab, I guess, actually also needs to, come on, little guy, where is it? Foundation wall. Hold on, I'm going to hide this wall. I'm going to hide it so I can see the floor inside there. I'm going to grab my floor, hopefully. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to make sure that is existing. There we go. Reset. Okay. So now my section looks correct. Well, somewhat correct. I need to move this slab up. Right? Doesn't look correct. Or maybe it was 4 inches. Or I'm going to just do a line because apparently it's bigger than 3 inches. There we go. So my slab looks like it's in the correct spot. Now I'm going to do a floor on the main level. Okay, so I go to level 1. And it's time for me to draw my floor here. So I click on floor, architectural. I want my 14-inch generic that I did above, so click. And now I'm going to go and find my endpoint here. Snapping to an odd endpoint. So I think instead I might just, there we go. It's kind of a weird endpoint. I think I might have to align it when I'm done, but I'm willing to do that. Get my floor in here real quick, and then we'll do the stairs. Totally not on the same line on every floor. There we go. Okay, it's on level 1. Existing, finish. There we go. All right, so I have my floor in there now. So my building is looking very real, right? I have the upper level. Oh, and I forgot to put my roof, I think probably on an existing level. Easy to do, easy to fix. But there's my roof, there, my whole, you know, project. There it is. All right, now let's add some stairs. So I go to my main level and I want to add some stairs in here. Okay, so the first thing I likely want to do is cut a hole for the stairs to live in. So I'm going to go and try and find my floor. I'm going to hit edit. And I'm just going to over exaggerate the opening of my stairs for now because I want to make sure that I have enough room to create them, and I'll go back and adjust it later. Okay, so I'm going to split this line right here, SL, split, click, TR trim, and I'm going to trim those 2 walls. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I've got my opening, and well, I guess while I'm here, maybe I'll just adjust it a little better. There we go. Okay, so there's my stair opening, and I hit finish. If I shade, SD, shade, there's my opening, right? So, looks pretty good, right? The opening goes around the wall in the center, although I think the stairs actually start back here, so maybe I need to hit edit again. And I need to bring this somewhat over here. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to create my stairs. And I'm going to create my stairs from my main level to my second level first. So that also means that I need to create a hole in my floor upstairs. So I'm going to go to my level 2. And I have an outline of level 1 down there. And I should have a floor up here somewhere. I'm not quite able to grab my floor. Here's another way of grabbing my floor. I'm going to go to this section, click, click. I see my floor in section, click. I hit edit boundary, and it says, hey, that's great. You want to edit that? You have to do it in a floor plan. So I go to level 2 floor plan, hit open, and I can edit it in level 2 now. So my stair, we'll just say it goes somewhere in here. We'll just go over to there, and it's going to come all the way up to about there. Looks pretty good. Split, SL, my little knife, click, trim, finish. There we go. So I have an opening now in my upper level. Bless you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Jen. Oh, we're just a big family here, aren't we? Okay. So I'm going to go back down to level 1. Click, click. And I'm going to create my stairs. My stairs are going to go from level 1 up to level 2. And so I click on stair. And I define it to go from level 1 to level 2. Now here's probably the most common mistake I personally make. I get into the stair, and it used to be that you could define the stair before you even got into, like when you were in the sketch, right? So I could start my sketch and then define my, top and bottom constraint, because a lot of times you forget to do that, right? And you start drawing along, and then all of a sudden you've sketched your entire stair, and then you think, oh great, I haven't defined the top and bottom constraint, which affects it, right? So AutoCAD or Revit 2018 is a little bit less flexible in that. So right now, luckily I remembered to do it. Change this. I could edit the stair type if I wanted to, right? Instead of 7-inch risers, we could do 7 3/4. Oop, what'd I do? Okay, so now that tells me I need 16 risers. Okay. Sorry guys, I have to take a quick little break before I start drawing these. I'll be right back. Okay. Here we go. Back to stairs. Nobody touch my computer, right? For the rest of the week. Uh-oh. Jameson's in there sneezing away now. Okay. Time to draw the stairs. You have to be pretty methodical about stairs because if you don't do them right, they obviously you're finding out they don't work, right? The way that we're going to draw our stairs, we draw them separately in this case. There is what's called a multi-story tool in Revit where you can draw stairs that are identical from floor to floor. They are used in an application where you have like a high-rise, right? Those multi-story stairs work when your floor plates are exactly the same distance apart, right? So in the case where you have 2 or 3 stories where they're not identical, you know, the floor plates aren't the exact same distance apart, you're going to do separate stairways from each level. So from main level to upper level, and then from main level to lower level, you'll do 2 separate sets of stairs. So I'm going to hit create sketch. I'm going to draw my boundary. My boundary is going to start here, go all the way to the wall. Now, Allie, you asked, well, does it go up against the wall or does it kind of sit somewhat inside the wall, or how does that work, right? And that's a really good question. And it's a kind of I have a vague answer, I guess, which you're probably not going to like. But it really kind of depends on your project, honestly. I would say, in general, you know, most residential stairs will be framed and they'll go from wall to wall, no gap, right? And then the railing will sit on the wall to help you, you know, circulate. If you have a metal staircase or you have some kind of showcase staircase, then it will likely be held off of the wall, right? It kind of circulates up through the stair shaft, not, you know, kind of resting against it. If you're in a commercial application, likely your stairs are going to be metal, or they're going to be, like in our case, concrete here. They may not touch the wall, right? But you can't have them further than 4 inches away from the wall, you know, for safety. So there's not a really good answer other than it's just really how it's been designed, how you design it. Yeah. I think it'd be safe to say you could have it go from wall to wall and you'd be okay though. All right, so I go from wall to wall and I'm going to create my inner boundary. Okay. Now one thing I'm sort of questioning, I'm thinking I know the lower level starts here, but where does that upper level, you know, I want to verify where that upper level stops. So I'm just going to pop into level 2 real quick here. So that looks pretty good to me. And if it's wrong, we can edit it a little. Okay. So you'll notice my boundary goes around here. There's no boundary line at the ends. Then the boundary goes from the inside all the way up. Great. I'm now going to create a riser. My riser, I start here and I define the landing. The landing line is one line. It doesn't go all the way across. I create a second riser here and then one here. Yep.
If I started at the bottom, does that tell it that it's going to be going up? So you have to start.
We were talking about this yesterday. I'm not sure how that's defined, honestly. I should probably look it up and define it. I don't think so, because we have the stair path that defines, right? But again, in previous versions, like even a year or 2 old, you didn't have to define the stair path. You would just draw the stairs and it would define the path for you. So actually defining the stair path is somewhat of a new thing. But there are times like in AutoCAD and Revit where if you start drawing one direction, it generates one way, right? But I think in this case, it's not going to matter because you have to define the stair path. All right, so I have 12 12 risers remaining. So let's say we want to do like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here. We might have to do 7. The stair is not going to be totally correct for me, right? But I'm just going to generate all of the risers that I need. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if the top is in the right spot. Hold on. Let me go to the level 2. is my opening? Okay, we have, well, we'll just create one. Okay. So now it says I have 0 remaining treads to create, or risers. I have all my stairs generated. Now I need to make these equal, which is a pain in the neck, right? You think, how do I make them equal? I'm going to use dimensions. Annotate. Aligned. Click, 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 drag it out, click and nowhere, and then I hit equal. It somewhat moved these a little bit. I'm just going to move them back. But the important part of this situation was that it equalized those stairs. Same thing over here. DI, distance. Not distance, dimension, sorry. Thinking of AutoCAD. Equal. Again, it moved it a tiny bit, right? I can move it back. But the important part is that I got these equidistant from one another. They're not obviously consistent from upper to lower level in this case, right? So I have my stair, and I'm going to define my stair path from here to over, up. And I hit finish. Hopefully we don't get any errors, but we might. It worked. That's good. So I go into 3D. I look at it, of course. Oh, hold on. I have to finish it again. And it's a little weird because you look at it and you're asking, Allie, you're asking, well, why does it go into the wall and why does it look dashed and it's weird and it looks complicated, right? And it does. You know, I go into 3D and I want to look at this, so I'm going to go and choose my section region. Look inside my little house, right? And what I'm seeing, all these dashed lines and weirdness, most of it is the railing, and I'm just going to delete the railing out for now. I don't want to show that. But in general, my stairs look really good, right? The stringers, those are the stringers, right? The support for the stair, they are going into the wall. I can fix that with the stair type. I can hit edit, right? And I can change my stringer to either, to not show them. In fact, we'll just show them open for now to fix that. But do you see now how my stringer is underneath my stair instead of off to the side of it, right? So there are some stair settings that you can change. You see that, how it went in? So now when I go into my floor plan view, it doesn't look so odd, right? It looks like it fits inside the stair opening. And if I come here and I hit edit, and I change this back to closed, you see how the stringer bumps out and it looks like it's in the wall again, right? So I'm going to undo that. So I generally have my stair, looks pretty good, going from main level to upper level, right?
So how do you make the risers just easy to be not inside of the wall? But
You change that setting in the stair. You mean the stringers?
No,
The railings?
the
Well, so it just kind of generates them, and it generates them according to where the stringer is placed. So if you chose that no stringer option or the closed one, the railing would host to the stringer, and it would host inside the stairway instead of with the stringer inside the wall. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Move the wall up.
There you go. Simple solution, right? Make the enclosure larger. You could do that too. Really, these stairs, I mean, ideally, if you've designed them or someone else has designed them, they should come out kind of a nice increment, and the tread should be kind of even, right? You know, I say that in an ideal world. But so we have our stairs that go from our main level up to our upstairs. Okay, looks good. You know, I can look at this a little bit further if I want. I can explore the stair, and I could draw a section through it. Look at it. Right? There we go. Looks good. Oh, there's my stringer, you know, for the landing, and then we go right up. Okay. So now how do we generate the stairs that go from the main level down to the basement, right? Which we have to do. Well, this case is, it's not tricky, but it's a little bit of an optical illusion for you to draw these stairs in this house because they are essentially going right under the stairs that you just built. Right? So if you think about it, this stair starts here and you do all the way upstairs, and then there's a door here that you go under the stair you just created and go down to the basement. That's how these stairs work, right? So it's a little bit tricky to think about, but not too bad to execute, right? My kind of best advice is always to start the stairs on the base level, right, where you want to generate them. So if you want to go from the main level to the second level, you'll start drawing your stairs on the main level. And if you want to go from the basement up to the main level, then you'll start at the basement and draw them up to the main level, okay? So in this case, I'm going to go down to the basement, and I'm going to draw my stairs. But I can't see where the other stairs are or the walls are to line it up, right? So I come over here to underlay, and I choose level 1, and there they are. I did shaded view, SD. Alright, time for me to draw my stairs. And I know that my stairs start right here on the main level and you go down, okay? So I'm going to go to architecture, I'm going to go to, I know this, like, when I'm drawing on the screen like this, it makes it seem simple, right? But it's not going to be simple for you guys for a while. Let me just say that. It's really hard to master this, right? It'll take you, it'll take you a while to get used to it. And if you don't use it, if you don't use Revit after this class, you'll lose it very quickly, right? So don't get discouraged. Keep with it. Okay, I'm going to define my stairs to go from the basement up to level 2. Or level 1, sorry, level 1. Okay. And I do the exact same process. So I bump into sketch mode. I'm going to choose my boundary tool, draw my boundary, and I want it to start from here, go to there, and end there. Okay, same thing over here. And I don't have to cut a hole in the floor because there's already a hole in the floor at the main level, right, for your main level stairs. I don't know if I split my stair right there on the main level, but it worked, so I guess. Alright, so I've drawn my boundary, now it's time for me to draw my risers, alright? And so I'm going to go to the riser tool, and immediately it says, hey, you have 16 risers to create, which is the exact same number we see here, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, yeah. So I'm going to start here, define this one, define that one, define that one, and this one's a little weird, but we'll define that one. I might bump that out a little. But then really what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of trace the ones above because they seem to work out okay, right? So I'm just going to draw that, make it goofy. You can copy these if you want to instead of redrawing all of them. There we go. Okay. Stair path. I'm going to go from here up to there, over, and up. Okay, hopefully we don't have any errors. And in fact, well, I'm just going to hit finish here. Finish again. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this stair and I'm going to immediately, there we go, open, okay. Alright, so now I go into 3D, right, and I want to look at the stair from the main level all the way to the basement. I can already see a little tiny piece of handrail poking up right there, right? So I'm going to bring that down, there we go. And there are, oh, let's see, oh, my stair's going the wrong way. You guys see that? Stair's going the wrong way. I know, I must have. It's odd, I can't explain it. I did. I chose from the bottom up, right? So it's a perfect example of sometimes things just don't work, right? So I did something that obviously it didn't like. So maybe because I'm moving, no, I'm on the basement level. I was going to say maybe it's because I'm moving downward, but no. So I'm just going to come and grab this little flip stair direction, click, and it thinks, and then it moves the direction of the stairs, and now they're correct. And there was no weird finagling or, oh my gosh, I hope that if I hit the flip that everything works, and actually, when I hit the flip tool, it actually usually works very well, right? So now I have the stair that goes from here, all the way down, and then on the on the main level, right? I have, let's grab that again. I have this stair that goes all the way up. It's beautiful, right? And I've got my little stair section tool here. That's not what I wanted. Oh, that's what I was looking for, right there. And I can see I must not be cutting through that bottom stair. Anyway. Okay, so there are my stairs, all right? Any questions on the stairs? Well, how else would you get down there? Through a window? I propose an elevator. All right, so we've got our stairs. Now, you know, one thing that is a little bit weird, you may have some adjustments, right? One thing that this stairway does is that, you know, you have your tread. You have your riser, you step up, 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 up. But what ends up happening is because we start and stop with the riser, it's a little bit of, again, a visual trick where I have my riser right there, and then they're sort of assuming that you step from here up onto the main level, and so the upper level is your last tread, essentially. Now, my stairs, bless you, my stairs somewhat encroach into that floor like an inch or something. So if I were doing a real project and I wanted it perfect, I would take my floor and edit it and align it with the face of that riser so that you would step up, 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 and all of them would be equal, okay? But that is how the stairs are going to look. And you can choose to start with a riser or start with the tread, right? But I think it makes more sense to start and stop with the riser. Okay. All right, so a couple of other things. Any other specific questions before I move on? Okay.
The lining up that thread with the face with your floor and then also your cutout and everything else like that, it would be great.
Okay, so here's a little trick on that. Get used to using reference planes. So, well, so here's how you need to do it. You need to go into a sectional view of that area, okay? And that is, well, actually, here, yeah, that's what I want to go to my main level. We are in the main level. And it is that stair right there, right? So I'm looking at it and I'm seeing that that stair is that much into the floor, right? So I'm going to type RP, reference plane. This one actually is not too bad. But if I wanted to view it, oh, hold on a second. I know what the problem is. No, that's right. You weren't? Hold on a second. Let me show you something else you can do. 1 second. Okay. What you can do is, I'm looking at a sectional view. If I draw a reference plane, RP, that reference plane ideally, it should, and I say should, of course, right? But it should go in all 3D directions. So if I go into a sectional view and I grab that line right there, you see that? I can go into a floor plan view, level 1, and I can see that, right? So then I can grab my floor, and I can hit edit, AL, align. I align it with that, and hit finish. And I might end up here. In this case, I'm probably going to have to move my wall out a little, right? We'll just move it out a lot so I can look at what I'm doing here. And I double click on my section, and the floor comes out and looks exactly as it should, right? So you step up, step up, step up, and that's how it should look, essentially. I'm getting a little bit of a weird, so this right here looks weird in shaded view, right? You see it looks like there's a gap. There's not really. And if I go to HL, hidden line, I don't see that. I just see the edge of the tread coming out. Right? Does that make sense? It does. The lining up is tricky, so I'm not saying it's not, but the easiest way to get it is to go into section and then to draw a reference plane. Yep. Okay. So just one other thing I really want to get to is joining a wall. Okay. And I'll talk about creating a sheet and adding a view to the sheet. So So if I want to create a sheet in here to print from, I'm going to come down to Sheets. I'm going to click on right-click, New Sheet, right? And I only have a 30 by 42 available. What if I want another size? Well, I'm going to load, go all the way down to title blocks, click, click, choose the size I want, 22 by 34, open, okay, and now I have my 24 by 30 or 22 by 34 inch sheet. Now, if you're thinking, well, how do you tell what size this is? Well, if I click on it and I come up here to my properties, I see what size it is, okay. I'm going to go to my level 1. I'm going to click and hold and drag it over and click. It's just a tiny little guy, right? So too small. So I'm going to go to my level 1 and I'm going to change the scale of this. That will make the floor plan appear bigger on the sheet. So I'm going to change it to 1/2 inch. Close it out. Oh, there it is, but it's all askew now, right? There you go. I click on my title and I drag my title over, click on the viewport, I can drag that out. Looks really good. Okay. Now let's look at joining some walls, right? We put an addition on the back of this house. So I had several questions about, hey, my walls are not joining correctly. Hopefully I can kind of mimic the error that was happening. But let's just say that I want to demo some walls in here, right? Create an addition on there. So this wall right here, it was drawn in the existing phase, and I want it to go away. I want it to demo in the new phase. So instead of no demo, I choose new construction. Okay. So when I change my phase filter, my phase here from existing to new, you see it shows dashed, right? So that means the dashing means it's going to disappear when I create a new addition there, right? All right, this is confusing. This takes a little getting used to, right? Once you kind of wrap your head around it, instantly you'll recognize how valuable it is. It's really nice, right? I think the confusing part is just making sure you're recognizing what phase you're in when you're drawing, right? Easy mistake to forget. And then, you know, you have to get used to these phase filters, how you're viewing things on your page, right? So I'm viewing this in the existing phase, or sorry, in the new construction phase. I'm viewing these existing elements, right? And I'm viewing this element as being demoed. And I know it's being demoed because it's shown dashed right now. So if I don't want to show the dashed, I could use a phase filter and say, hey, oh, whoops. If I don't want it to show dashed, I would say, show previous plus new. So all the demo stuff would go away, right? That's how I would change it. But before I do that, I want to add some new walls. So I'm going to go up to wall, and in fact, I'm going to create this kind of wall. But I want to create a new one, so I'm going to change new construction. Okay, wall. And we want brick on, or which one was it? I can't remember what the wall was called. See, I hate metals, brick on metal stud. Okay, wall. Brick on metal stud. There we go. And it's going to go from level 1 all the way up to bottom of structure level 2. Great. So I come in here, I click. Oh, it's the wrong face. Oh, I don't want that. I'm going to change this to finished face, exterior. There we go. And I'm just going to go and add a few feet here, right? There we go. There we go. TR, trim. And there's my new wall. Now, you know, what you all are finding is that, hey, I didn't start drawing it from right there, and I can't drag it back unless it doesn't connect, okay? What's happening here is a wall join. So all 3 of these walls are coming in together, and they're not playing very nice right now. And what's happening is this wall is coming in, and it's thinking, this wall is going to disappear, and I need to join with this wall. This wall's coming in saying, I'm joining with this wall because it's still here, but eventually I want to join with that wall, right? And so they're having trouble joining together automatically. Wall joins are automatic in Revit unless you change the way you view them, okay? And we can do that. Under the Modify tab here, there is this button right here, and it's Wall Joins, okay? And it will allow you to change the configuration or the automatic joining of walls. And the problem we're having here is not that they're not joining, it's that they're joining incorrectly, and we can't really change that, right? And so essentially what I want to see happen is I would like to see this existing wall to be demoed from this point over, not this point over. And the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to click on wall join, click. This is a really, I feel like, it's really clunky. This tool is clunky. I click on wall join. I hover over the wall join I'm concerned about and I click. And immediately Revit defines the 3 walls that are, not working or working together. And I'm going to choose disallow join. I could also have chosen a different joining configuration like mitering. You see how that changed? And square off. Right? So I can change the way that these join, or I can choose to disallow the join. And when I choose to disallow the join, that will allow me to then hit escape, come in, drag this back to there, and allow these 2 walls to come together nicely so that when this goes away, these 2 very nicely come together. Okay? But in fact, I actually want this wall to come to there first. You see how they're not automatically becoming a corner? It's allowing me to control what happens. So I can bring this down and I can join it right there. Yep, exactly, right? So I click on wall join again, click, click, escape. I drag this guy in, even a little bit more than I need to, and I then pull this guy up. I'm essentially unjoining them. I'm defining where I want all of these elements to live, and then bringing them back together how I want to see it happen. Oh, this one's being difficult. Extending what wall out? Well, do you mean how we did our actual project? Well, this is not exactly how you did your project, right? You did it different. But I'm just showing you kind of, this was one topic a lot of people asked about. Yeah. So there is my new configuration, right? So now I have my existing to remain, I have my existing to demo, and I have my new construction, right? I changed my wall joins so that they will come together cleanly when I'm done. If I come down here now to my phase filter, I'm in new construction, so that means that this wall is showing demoed, right? It's defined as existing to demo and new construction. I'm viewing my model in new construction. And now I can filter my view so that I only see previous plus new, previous phase, and if I'm viewing new construction, my previous phase is existing, and my wall goes away, right? Previous plus new. And I could then add a floor in here. I'm in new construction, go to architecture, floor, floor, and I would build a new floor that would then join with my old floor. This is not a very clean join. Anyway. There we go. Right? So if I shade my views now, I can see my old floor, I can see my new floor, right? And everything is looking very nice. Any questions so far? Okay. I'm trying to think if there were any other specific questions that I got. That might have been kind of the bulk of them. Other than printing, right? How do we then print, right? What's that? Control P, yes, the good old Control P with paper, right? Corey, I'm disappointed. I know you know how to use a plotter. It's all right. Happens to the best of us. Okay, so if I want to print, right, I go over here to my sheet, click. There's one sheet that I have, right? I'm going to reposition this just because I changed things. Another thing I did get a question about this other one thing really, and I'll do that quickly before we print. I had a lot of people asking about how do I put a 3D view on a sheet, right? Well, if I click on this default view, 3D view, click, I'm in here, right? This view right here is that view right there, no matter what, right? So if the minute there, I'm in this view, all right? So if I wanted to place a 3D view on my sheet, I need to find the view I want, which I have to navigate in this view to get that, but I'm going to find the view I want by unchecking my section. I've got a section box on here. Do you guys know that these open and close, by the way? Do you see that? Yeah. Okay. I've got my section box here. I'm going to change my phase filter to previous plus new. Right. Oh, I need to have a floor upstairs too. I didn't do that. Be a nice open terrace. So there's my 3D. And I'm going to copy this view. If I like that view of it, or I can use my view cube to find an axio. Right, looks good. I right click. I choose duplicate view with detailing. And now this copy right here can be pulled onto a sheet. If I move this copy around, right, it doesn't affect this view. However, if I pulled this onto a sheet and then I went into this view and I altered it, it would affect my sheet. Okay? So this default view is not one that you want to put on sheets because it changes. So I go to my sheet, I can grab my copy, drag it over, click that little guy and put it right there. Okay. Any other questions? No? Yeah, yep. Click, click, right? And I can change it from 1/8 to 1/4. Yep. Okay. Any other questions so far? Okay, no homework for the weekend. Monday, we will start talking about commercial type applications of Revit. So we'll talk about storefront systems, and